Previously on Coach Greg.
I mean, you're obviously thinking you're getting first next year. Who is going to be second?
I think as of right now,
Larry Wheels is up 53 pounds in 5 days. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. When I was younger, I was like suffering from kids now with body dysmorphia is a big thing. We didn't know that was a term. So I did my first several shows. I'm a normal guy. I get shredded, had the six pack, and I'm eating candies. I'm eating 20, 30 pounds the first month.
Yeah.
They were like, where'd your abs go? And I'm like, oh shit. And you go back on a diet, back and forth. Do you ever suffer from body dysmorphia from doing a show? Like you look just like ripped. And then it's off-season time and you're gaining 30 pounds. Do you ever miss that? Do you find it hard to not look shredded?
Yeah,
is it a challenge?
I think it's normal, right? Like I said earlier, like I'm human, so I have normal emotions and thoughts and feelings just like everybody else. So yeah, I mean, when I'm in a deep off season, I will look at myself and most people around will be like, hey, you look crazy, you look so good. I'm thinking, I'm a little heavy and I'm holding a little bit more body fat than I'd like. So if I'm honest, yeah, like I would like to be leaner sometimes, even though like if I were to look at my off season now, I'd be like, that's not that bad. But I'm also in the body
season. I've used you as an example of this is how lean he is in the off season. And I'm like, you don't need to be that lean. I'm like 15%, 20 at most. But some guys are bulking. They're already at 20. They're bulking to 25, 30%. I'm like,
I think,
why are you doing that? You're just getting fat at this point. It's not healthy.
Yeah, I think health and feeling good matters. That's what matters to me. So if like I feel physically good and I can stay lean and look good, I think slowly increasing the weight and slowly building that muscle tissue is important. So that way you're not holding on to more body fat, whether it be when you're getting ready for a show or whether it just be that mental aspect of the off season or the physical aspect of, like I said, feeling good. So coming off of a show and in the deep off season, I have my goals of improving on my physique, but a lot of it has to do with how I feel physically in my body.
So it sounds like you're in favor of like, we call it like a reverse diet where you slowly put on the weight. The reason I'm against that, and it's not that it's wrong to gain a lot of weight right away, it's that if you go from being say 4, 5, 6% body fat to suddenly 12 to 15 in a month, it's hard for your eyes to catch up to your mirror image of yourself. So I like to slowly maybe go up 1% a week and take my time getting back to my off season because it takes time for your eyes to catch up. Like when I look at my body right now, I'm shredded. But if I did a show like you and got to 4% and it got to where I am now, I'd be like, oh,
if you can take,
it takes time.
If you can take about the 8 weeks post show, somewhere between 6 and 10, I like to say if you can take 8 weeks and slowly add in the food and like maybe only have a 1 or 2 cheat meals a week for that time period and just slowly increase the food on a daily basis. By that 8 week mark, maybe 10 week mark, that's when you can start to like notice that your body can handle more food. And so that's whenever you can have a couple more cheat meals here and there and get away with it, rather than if I were to have a big cheat meal right now, I would explode,
Now maybe explain to me what you do with your cardio preparing for the show versus right after. What I do with my clients, I would have them do 50% of the cardio. So if say you're doing an hour a day, show's over, we don't need to do all this cardio trying to get ripped, but we need some, so I do 30 minutes. If you're doing 2 hours an hour, how much cardio you do prepping for the show, like at your peak the most, versus after the show? Is it I'm done cardio, you kidding me? Or do you just keep doing a little bit?
So ideally, like Connie Rambod called me today and he said, to do about 30 minutes of cardio instead of a normal like 45 or an hour. But I end up getting a little bit ambitious and I lose track of time and I might end up doing 45 minutes right now.
Oh wow, so you're getting close, like a little bit less.
I kind of like it. I kind of
like the cardio.
I look at this as, this is not the perfect answer, this is just my answer. I love this lifestyle and it's hard to get ready for a bodybuilding show, but I love to do cardio. I love to weight train. I love to eat on my body, like my bodybuilding meals and on my meal plan. I just enjoy it. It's just who I am. And so it's not hard for me to give up that pizza and cookies. It's not hard for me to get up and go, all right, I feel good, let's go do some cardio, because I know that cardio is gonna start my day off and I'm gonna have a great day. If I don't do the cardio, I'm gonna start to feel sluggish and I just don't like it. I'd rather just wake up and do cardio every day, and if I feel like doing an hour, I'll just do an hour. It won't be hard, I'll just do it. And then I feel accomplished, I got a good sweat, it start off my day perfect. And then I want to go to the gym. Like that's what I fell in love with first anyway. I want to be in the gym, and so managing the output in the gym right now too is going to be important. So yes, ideally, I would want to back off the training just a little bit, back off the cardio just a little bit, but maybe there's a day or two here and there where I want to go a little harder. I might do the hour cardio.
Now, have you heard of a kid? His name is Sam Sulik.
I've heard of him.
He's a 21-year-old body. Yeah. What I really like about him, the main thing, the biggest thing is he's huge on promoting cardio. He does 30 minutes of cardio every day, and he says, why aren't you doing your cardio?
Should be. I think you should.
Because a lot of people say if you do cardio, it prevents you from building muscle. Like people put down my information. I'm like encouraging 150 minutes of cardio a week. I tell people it's really important. People like Mike O'Hearn are like, no, you don't do any cardio in the off season. Really? You save it for before the show. That's how you do it. And so I'd like to hear it from you, your opinion on year-round cardio versus like not doing it, or should you save it for the show? And what intensity, hit versus list, like low and steady state. Like I'll do zone 2 cardio, like an easy cardio. What do you do? It's a long question.
I come from an athletic background, wrestling.
Absolutely.
So hit cardio is something I enjoy doing, but I don't think it's quite as beneficial trying to keep my leg size, my leg development. So I think less intense cardio is better. So maybe like a brisk walk. Occasionally you maybe do like a step mill. And if you wanted to do some occasional hit cardio, that's okay too. But on a regular basis, I would say doing low intensity cardio, just like a nice brisk walk, keeping your heart rate around 125 or like 130, let's say, is ideal. And yeah, maybe like 30, 35 minutes in the off season is plenty. And if you wanted to do it just like 5 days a week, that's great. But again, like for me, I like to do it every day until it's like I might have an inconvenient day, meaning like I'm traveling that day, so I'm just not going to do my cardio because I'll be walking to the airport anyway, or something like that. Or I just wake up one day and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to take today for me, But pretty much every day I like to do cardio. Like I said, it starts my day off the way I like it.
So it sounds like you're right on point with Sam. Yeah. 30 minutes of steady state, not like crazy cardio. Yeah. You can do it year round. It's not going to hurt.
I feel better. I just keep coming back to the same thing. I like to do it. I want to do it, and I feel good when I do it.
Now, what about in your off season? Like Sam is bulking cut. He'll eat like 5,500 calories a day for several months. He goes up to maybe 15%. Then he cuts down to single digits, eating 2,500. And I've suggested I'd rather you see like a consistent, maybe 4,500, like all the time, just on that main gain steady state. In your off season, would you more likely go up to say 10%, push the food a little bit, and then cut down a little bit for 2 months and go back and forth? Or you just kind of like sit at 10 to 11, whatever percent you are, and just consistently, slowly edge on that muscle? Or should you be bulking for a few months and cutting for a few months and cycling back and forth? Which way is best for you? And I don't care if it's the best way for everyone, but what do you think personally?
I think, I've done both. That's the thing. It depends on what position you're in, right? In the beginning, whenever I was 150 pounds, I was really trying to put on, stack on the muscle. Yeah, quickly. So I think doing the bulking and then the mini cut and then the bulking and the mini cut, that's what I did at the time.
And how, just so I interrupt, how long is the bulk versus the mini cut? Is it like 3 months, 1 month?
Really just comes down to like body fat and how you're looking, right? So if you're starting to lose shape and you're starting to get excess body fat, then you need to pull it back and then tighten up a little bit, and then you can push again, right? Because if you just keep pushing, you just keep getting fatter. I don't really see the benefit in that. Kind of like push, pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back. But for me now, being in the position that I'm in, we talk about refinement, right? I don't want to like pushing, pulling back. I think it's important that I just keep things pretty consistent, so that way I can just keep, like I said, detailing the physique.
Like Sam at his biggest, I keep bringing up Sam, but he's just so popular. Everyone wants to know what he would. So at his biggest, he might be 15%, full on 6-pack. But he not just keep bulking, he's still so lean, under 15%. Like for you growing, like you said, you're younger, you bulk and cut. Was there a point you said you pull back, get too fat? Like what point is that? Did you have abs?
Well,
like were you at 20%? Like what would be for you?
I think we're talking physical, and I think we're talking numbers, and I think we're talking like the most ideal plan. But let's remember, like I said earlier, we're all human. We all have one of these, and we have emotions. We can talk about what's the ideal plan, but sometimes people just need a break. Sometimes people just need to just say, listen, I want to just take a week or two and just not binge. That's not what I'm saying. But I want to chill out and not have to be on this strict 10% extra or 20% down, or I want to just come off of a plan, and I just want to kind of eat to my liking. I want to stick to eating clean. If I do the cardio, great. If I go train hard, or if I maybe skip an extra day, great. Like, I think there maybe comes a time where people, if they force themselves to do this plan, they're gonna mentally check out, and then I think that's more detrimental to your progress than to just allow yourself to have a little bit of freedom for a few days, a week, or whatever, and then get back to doing that ideal plan.
I think it's a great point. We're more emotional thinkers than we are logical thinkers. Like, people care more about how did somebody make you feel than they actually think about something.
Yeah.
And to me, it's all about balance.
It's balance.
I feel like if I want to take a week off of training hard, I take a week off. If I want to eat candy for a week, I eat. But I'm always within that range of health. I'm never thinking this is bulk season, this is cut season, unless it's a show and I'm dieting. Then
So
I
I
have
mean,
to.
you look at like a guy like myself, look at a guy like Chris Bumstead. There are times of the year where we might take a few days and spend with our wives. Like me and my wife went on an all-inclusive cruise. We've never done one before. Mm-hmm. So it's important that we remember that life's going on around us. We need to make sure that we're focusing on our family, our wives sometimes, because it's not just about how you look all the time. It's not just about being on the perfect meal plan. And Chris is a 5-time champion. I'm now, 2-division Mr. Olympia. There's times in the year where you do set aside the bodybuilding and you focus on life and the people around you. So I think that's an important point that helps me manage my balance and keeps me on track and keeps me hungry to want to be in the gym and be on plan. Because whenever I go and I say, okay, like, I'm going to give this time to my wife and myself, I'm itching to get back on it. Like, I almost, to be honest, sometimes it's hard to even enjoy I'm away from the plan, but I think that that's a crucial piece to what keeps my marriage strong, which is the backbone to why I'm able to do what I do and be as good as I am at it.
It has to be enjoyable to keep going this long. Like, a lot of people are like, Greg, you're just in it for the money. You're just doing this. I'm like, I started training at 10. I'm 48. I've done 59
Do it for the money,
shows.
and it'll be short-lived.